Okay, must be time for receipts. This is just for the people who believe that I must be lying about something. If you're not one of those people, then you don't need to listen to this. It's hard to know where to start, but let's go with 5 hours ago. Martin sent me a message. He says, let's get one thing straight. You are constantly sending me messages and accusing me of false information. I am defending myself. Okay, Einstein, let's start with lesson number 1. Do you know what this is? This is my YouTube dashboard. And down here, you see where it says comments? That's where all your comments have been going. And mine on my YouTube channel, not yours. And see this here? This is your comment posted on my video, not yours. And looky here, here's another one of your comments on, guess what, my video. And looky here, here's another unsolicited comment from you attacking me on my video, not yours. Have we got it straight yet? When you post comments on my videos, YouTube notifies me. Every comment that you have posted has been unsolicited. That is, I haven't said shit to you. You just piped up and started attacking me for no particular reason. Every single thread was instigated by you, not by me. I'm not really sure how you foxed yourself into thinking otherwise, but clearly you have. I'm not going to go through every single one of my replies to prove that all I want for you is to shut the fuck up and build a fucking bridge. Remove yourself from my channel. It's really that simple. Have you got it straight now? Let's move on to receipts, shall we? Because I am interested in proving that I don't have a reason to lie about anything. We'll start with your last accusation first. You said I never apologised. Not sure what it was that I was supposed to apologise for, but I'll assume you were talking about asking for ideas and theories to help me write the story. Do you know what this is? Yeah, that's me apologising and not opposing AK about deleting it. I'm not going to call you a liar. I'm sure there's another reason that you believe whatever it is that you believe. Now, let's move on to your blame-laying accusation. Do you know what this is? It's a DM where I offered to AK to play around with the data, to which he replied enthusiastically that he would love it. He then sent me the defence exhibits. That's right. Among other things that you have accused me of, you have also accused me of looking at the defence exhibits, which was the data I was asked to look at. In this part of the conversation, you can see I'm clearly well and truly into extracting the data using OCR, but this is where I first found out that you were manually entering the data. I was quite happy to get on with my own project, which I'd held up for this, and let you continue on your way. But as you can see, AK wanted me to continue with it, so I did. You can also see that this part of the conversation is where AK starts heading off on a tangent. We're both looking at the defence data, but he's blaming the DA for leaving out stuff and manipulating it. Now, as far as I know, the DA plays no role whatsoever in preparing the defence documents. But I tried to be agreeable and I carried on with the job. This is where AK starts talking about the time. The data I was looking at was in UTC time with an extra column that said -7 for mountain time plus daylight savings. I wasn't calculating it. That's just what it said on the spreadsheet. In this conversation, I'm checking again to make sure that I'm not wasting my time, that this is actually helpful what I'm doing. Where AK says he specifically wants the Bobcat data and begs me to do it, please. Eventually I get most of the data extracted, and this is where I try to include you so you don't get your nose out of joint. To be honest, I didn't care who was checking the data because I wasn't planning on using it myself. But as you can see here, AK decided that he was the best person for that job. Now, here's where you need to pay attention. Here I am referring to the two columns that are used to calculate the time. And AK says, I'm fine with the UTC time not converted. AK says he will do the calculations. This was in fact the second time that he said he wanted everything left in UTC time. And you see right at the bottom there, I'm talking about the address line. Yeah, I was only using it to test the longitude and latitude OCR results. That's all. How I did that, I'll come back to later, but I did not calculate it myself. Here we see that it is in fact me explaining to AK how to calculate mountain time. You can also see here I am complaining that Google Sheets is frustrating with dates because it only stores them as strings, as opposed to Gregorian timestamps. Not that it mattered much because AK had already said twice he only wanted UTC time. Where I was playing around with formulas and trying different things and testing the data, those columns weren't supposed to be kept. It was just me learning how to use Google Sheets because I'm more familiar with Excel spreadsheets, which actually does store the date and time as Gregorian timestamps. Don't ask me why Google doesn't. Here you can see AK talking about the telematics not making sense to him, but I always understood that there was a lot of data that was missing for a variety of reasons. Notice though, we're not actually fighting about it. We simply carry on discussing what it is that we're doing next and how to extract the remaining sheets that we hadn't looked at yet. Still, I'm not arguing with AK about the oddities and things that he's noticing. So now I am going to prove to you once and for all that I did no calculating myself. I simply plugged in the formulas, i.e. that link I just sent you tells you how to do it, but as you have duly noted, Google Sheets isn't very good with calculating the time because it stores it as a string. The time function only works if you have your hours, minutes and seconds in separate columns. It doesn't work on date values. And that is why if you wanted to keep the local date and time column, you needed to double check that the day column was wound back a day when -7 hours was applied prior to 7 a.m. in the morning. Because I was under the impression that you weren't going to keep that column, I didn't waste the time splitting the year, month, day, hours, minutes and seconds all into separate columns so that I could apply the formula. And as I've already said, I didn't have time to do any of that anyway. I had another project that I had to get to, and I was holding it off to get this done for you guys. For you to now complain that I didn't go the extra mile after AK had already said twice he didn't want me to, I'm pretty sure that says more about you than it says about me. Now, in case it wasn't obvious at first glance, where did I store the additional columns where I was fiddling around with formulas? I stored those columns at the end of the spreadsheet to indicate that they are not part of the data that I extracted. And AK knew exactly what I was doing. For you to come along later and look at those columns and presume they must be part of the data set, that's on you, buddy. On every single spreadsheet, there's a great big gap between the actual data extracted and the formulas that I was playing with. As for the address column, which you have also taken issue with, here's the script I wrote. Again, I didn't do any calculating myself. What this script says is, please Google Maps, make me a geocoder so we can reverse look up the latitude and longitude. And please put each result into my spreadsheet. There's nothing here that says do something with longitude and latitude to calculate something or other. I don't even know what you were thinking, but it's pretty straightforward. It's a call to the geocoder, which is part of Google Maps. And I had to do it all over a period of days because the geocoder has a record limit. When you reach that limit, you have to wait for the next day and they'll give you a new limit. The purpose of the address column was not to provide an address for viewers or an audience. It was to double check the longitude and latitude coordinates were correct. Obviously, you won't see the incorrect addresses there, but they actually fell in a completely different county until I corrected the longitude and latitude coordinates. And then I spent another couple of days rerunning the geocode script 100 records at a time to make sure that the adjusted longitude and latitudes actually did fall into an address somewhere in the vicinity of where Barry was. Again, you didn't need to keep that column. It just helped me identify where the OCR scanned in numbers incorrectly in the longitude and latitude coordinates. The fact that you're pissed off it didn't serve any purpose for you personally, again, that says more about you than it says about me. So, I hope we have all these things straight now. All of your misconceptions, from accusing me of messaging you right through to what you are misreading on the spreadsheets that I gave you access to. So, quit posting on my channel. Go away. Do whatever you want with the data. I don't fucking care. Rest assured, I won't be offering to help you or AK anymore.